everyone, this is Lori from the Crafting Auntie, back with you with another tutorial. This is a design team project for Polka Art Studio, and this is a tutorial on putting together the Travel in Time Folio. So I have prepared all my pieces by cutting them out, except for where they belong, so I can put this together with you. I have already done some inking and I have already done some scoring ahead of time, and so basically I'll just be showing you how we put this together. So these are the front panels, and I love these buildings. They're just absolutely gorgeous. And so I am just trimming off a little bit of where they go into the kit, and I have scored it down the center. These are going to get folded in half and glued together. Now there's a lot of intricate cutting on the top of this, so just do the best you can. Hide anything with some ink. And the ink I am using today is Tim Holtz Distress ink, and this is Scorched Timber. I thought that this was a good color for this, and gave it a lot of pop in some of the areas there. So as I trim them down, I will be inking and then also pressing the score lines. There are really good instructions with this. I have changed a little bit from the instruction, not a lot, and I'll show that to you as we go through this process. Making sure that we add all the glue to all those little tiny areas at the top, because this is going to get glued completely shut. So you want to make sure they match up as best as you can. And again, just cover up anything that may not be perfect with some ink. Then you want to fold the flaps on both of these, and they will be going onto the interior panel, one on each side, after you get them both glued shut. I'll be showing you the pieces as we put this together, and at the end I'll show you a flip through and also all the different things that I added to this, just to kind of make it my own style. Fold those flaps both ways so that your panel moves freely before you glue it on. And then the very interior panel, I have scored in the center. There's 2 lines to score, and that gives you a small little spine for this folio. It does get rather thick, especially after you add all the ephemera pieces that are in the kit, which is quite a bit. So here I am just going to press those down really good. And you get a small, like about a 1/4 inch spine. Now you'll be gluing these to the right and the left of the interior panel, and they will get flush to the bottom. I'm just inking the edges in case something were to peek through that might be white, and so I'm just trying to make sure I cover all that up as much as I can. Make sure when you glue these on that your panel will move freely. Now we'll set that aside and begin working on the other panels that will get attached to this. So we're working on the left side panels right now. One is the interior and one is the exterior. Inking as I go along all the areas that need it, especially where I've cut off some of the pieces. And these will get glued back to back. Just line up the covers as best as you can, making sure that that flap still moves back and forth freely. And now we're going to work on the right side panel. And this has an upper panel that will go onto it before it actually gets glued back to back. So you'll glue this one shut. And continue preparing the rest of the panels. So I'm just trimming up any excess white and inking that up as well. And again, folding the tab, making sure it moves freely. So before you glue these two pieces together, you'll want to put the upper panel on, and then that way that will be able to flip up. I'm just trying to get it straight on here. It takes me a couple of times because I needed to flip it over just to make sure it was straight, because it wasn't straight. And you'll see in a moment what I mean when I flip it over. It definitely was not straight. Oh yeah. So I take it apart and I make it straight, making sure when I flip it over it is straight. And so the way I glued it down on that back side is where I actually use it as a belly band. Because as you'll see here shortly, you could use a belly band there, but there are pockets that go onto this. And you will see that in a few moments. But you could leave the pockets off if you wanted to, and you could use that as a belly band. So, I mean, it's really versatile. You could do many different changes to this kit. I'm trying to get as close as possible to the actual assembly of the instructions so that it gives you an idea how this goes together. But again, make any changes that you like as you're putting it together. Okay, now that we got that top piece on, now we're going to be adding that to our main folio. And I'm just trying to determine which side it goes on. So this is, because all the things are cut off now, so this is a right panel. And then what's going to happen is this is the left panel that will go on. And I'm just trying to make sure I have it going the right way. So the green part is supposed to be the interior. So now you can see that I have it correct. now here is where the pockets will be going. So I'm just going to glue the larger one to the bottom and the smaller one to the top. And now we'll work on the left side. There's double pockets, and so they will be layered on top of each other. So the one that I'm doing the folding of the flaps right now will go on top, and the one without the flaps will go underneath. So just line them up as best that you can on that left panel. So I'm just trying to position it to see exactly where I want them to be. Just going to try and hold this in place and glue down the sides and the bottom, leaving the top open. And once you have that one on, then just glue this one on top. And that gives you your double pockets. Now you can glue this left panel to the middle panel, making sure again that this folds freely. And just covering up any white spots it might be showing. Now that we've got those side panels done, now we can work on the rest of the project. So this one is a little flip pocket, and so just make sure when you're gluing this that you have, I think, the pocket to the top. And what I did is, unfortunately, I had the pocket in the side, which made it a little more difficult to put something in. So yeah, I would have glued it differently than what I am doing right here. I probably would have just glued the bottom and the other side. But, you know, just give it a try, whatever works best for you. I enjoyed putting this together, though. It was a lot of fun. And again, it's very versatile, and there's lots of ways you could make some changes, of which I did. And so, yeah, just to make it a little different, to make it my own. Now this is going to get glued to this pocket. And you see my opening is actually right there at the tab, and I should have done it a different way. So just keep that in mind. I'm realizing that now as to where my pocket is. So unfortunately, I just kind of ran with it. I wasn't going to change anything at this point. I'm just trying to make sure I have it going the right way and making sure I put it on correctly. So this is the way it is supposed to go. So now add the glue to that tab and then glue that to this pocket. You can see where I stuck my finger in there. That's where the pocket is. So kind of makes it a little difficult. It should have been glued the other way. So just keep that in mind if you put this together. Now, typically this is supposed to go on the other panel to the left, but you can change this around. So I decided to put the pockets here on this panel. You can do it either way. I don't know why I did it. I just liked it better over on this side. But typically it would go on the other side, behind the other building on the left-hand side. But I decided to put them here. And it really doesn't matter they fit fine here or they fit on the other side. And same with the pieces that, the piece that will go on the other side that normally would go on this panel. So change it up as you wish. Also, I want to encourage you to add any additional items to this. As you're putting it together, you can be adding laces or trims, anything else, add brads, additional things, and yeah, so there's lots of things you can actually add to this as you're putting it together out of your own stash, whatever it is you have. And now we're going to go ahead and work on the other side. Now this is typically the pocket that would go on the other side, but again, it can go on either side. So this is like an envelope looking pocket that you put together and then glue down. And then I'm going to be inking it and gluing the top piece to the bottom, and that creates a pocket. So there's lots of little things as you're putting this together you could change on your own. But this kit is amazing. There's a lot of ephemera pieces that come with this as well. So yeah, load it up. And when we get to the flip through, at the end, I have a flip through of this whole thing. You can see all the various things that I did and added and some changes that I made on my own. Okay, so now we're going to add these exterior pockets. And they're so cute because they're little suitcases. Now, these are, again, kind of intricate to cut out as well, and I did cut out the piece in the handle. So I used an X-Acto knife. If you don't want to do that, you could just ink it, but I did want that back to be peeking through like it was a real suitcase. So just take your time when you're cutting out these intricate pieces. There's just the buildings and the suitcases that are more intricate than anything else. So just take your time on it. And if you don't have a scoreboard, you could just fold them on your own. Some of these I did. Some I mostly scored everything. But if you don't have a scoreboard, you could just fold them on your own, or you could also use your bone folder and a ruler on a mat and put the score in that way. Whatever it makes it easiest for you. And now we're just going to glue down these pockets to these back panels. I absolutely love these pockets. Now through this whole process, I have been using art glitter glue. You can use whatever glue you have, or if you like to use tape runner or double-sided tape, yeah, use whatever it is that you have to put this together. I like the art glitter glue, but sometimes I use tacky glue based on how, much I need to move it around. So now we've got the pockets all on. And the last thing we're going to be putting on is our panel. And this is actually the outer cover of the folio. And again, this has scores, so you have that 1/4 inch spine again, and that allows all of this to move freely because it gets quite full when you put everything in it. And then the best thing to do is match up your score lines. Even if you have a tiny bit that might be off, you can use your ink. I'm making sure that this is going the right way so I don't get it upside down. And I am just making sure that at least my scores are matching. So it was a little bit off on one side, but that's okay. I just added some ink And yeah, and it came out great. So just adjust it as necessary. It could have been I cut something a little bit off, or it's just the way it goes together. It doesn't really matter. It came out awesome. Andrea from Polka Art Studio does amazing on these kits, and her instructions are really good. Her kits are amazing, so yeah, give them a try. Hopefully you'll try it on this Traveling Time Folio. This was an amazing folio, and yeah, the kits are just so beautiful. And I just did these on, I think it was 110-pound cardstock. You could do 65-pound, but I did it so that it was sturdier. And yeah, I did not use like a matte photo paper like I have done on some, but the colors are still just as gorgeous. Okay, so that's our tutorial for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I will link the kit below. I will also link Polka Art Studio Etsy and their YouTube channel. And hopefully you guys will go out and give this a try. I will be having a flip through coming up here shortly of how it looks at the end when I finished it. I hope you guys enjoy your day. God bless you all, and I'll see you at the next video. Bye!